right, everyone, we're going to move into the next tab. And so we're going to say goodbye to the Silo DNA grade and go to the Team Manager screen, which is just mind-blowing. This is where you begin to think about organizing and managing your team. I'm going to let Matt jump in and go through why he created this screen, how powerful it is for your own organization and to organize other people. For the control freak in me, this is definitely the most exciting tab in the whole thing. And I just think it's really important, because I've had clients where, it definitely takes 3 to 5 people to manage them and the size of their projects or their empires. And this is where you can start to see the power of this system and where Domain Web Studio starts to get into becoming an SEO project management system of a very high degree. So Matt, I'll let you start with that.
Okay, cool. No worries, eh? This screen's really great. I love this screen because basically in one screen we can look at productivity, we can communicate, we can log how much time people have available to work for us, and we can see it per project process for the project that person's working on. So when we click on the Team Manager screen, it brings us to the screen over here, and it opens up this little block here. So when we click on this Send Message, it opens up this little chart where we can actually see messages that we have sent to a specific person, and when we click into the actual message, we can read a thread, and if they reply, it creates like a breadcrumb, almost like a blog. Remember the old school blogs, they should just stagger all the way down? We can actually see the communications happening. But also, what's great about this is we can actually assign a new task to a person which is independent of the actual project tasks. This is more of a communication tasks, like you could see the guys behind on his work, or you want to give him a heads up to actually stop on one project and quickly do something else on another project. So you can just click on this, you can select the department where he works, you can say who the task is actually assigned to, you can multi-copy your team members by double-clicking like that. That'll create like a blind carbon copy where you can write one message and you can send it off to 3 or 4 people who are registered as team members. And then you can put a completion date in when they've got to do something, write your free text message, and you can say, is this task recurring, is it an active task, when's it completed, how they must do it, is the priority high, low. It's just a very easy tool to actually send a message. And when you send a message from here, not only does the message appear on the Team Manager screen, sorry, when you click on it again, not only do you see it over here, but you'll also see the message is written automatically appear over here in the tasks.
So that's the screen you've gone back to is the original screen that we started this whole video series on. And that's the Empire Management screen.
That's the home screen.
So that's the overview we were talking about in the beginning, is you'll know who's been contacted, right?
Yep. So I was going to do a test check quickly. I'm going to send a message to myself, and my completion date is going to make this 2012 dash.
I think you got the wrong date now.
06-05 project ID and we can come down here and we can just write the message with all our details. Set active, is it a recurring task, is it a completed task. We can say it's individual and the priority is high, I've got to get it finished. So I click send. So what's happened is we've basically come along, and you can see over here that the task has actually been put into our list, and we can see there's a task here that's been running for 0 days because we just written the task today. But what happens is when the due date becomes late and it's not completed on time, this actual task will move into your task that will be on schedule, okay, and it'll alert you. So if the guys finish this task off before the due date, it just goes out of the list, and it just gives you a reference point of what's urgent that needs to get done. So going back to the team screen, we can come to our Zero the Cruise screen over here. We can click
okay, so now you're on just remind everybody where we're at. We're going into the team communication area on the Empire Management screen.
Right, so we click on team. That takes us back to where we were. We've just sent a message to our team to hurry up with the blueprint. But I'll talk you through this quickly. Availability, what this does is it gives us a way to actually set a status for a team member. Trial, review, or trusted.
What does that mean?
Now, trial is, say now you find a guy on Fiverr and you want to give him more work. That he did a job for you and was really good.
Like, are you talking writers, everybody, promotional? It doesn't matter
Anybody.
Anybody,
Very
you
cool.
can suck them into your team, but you can set their status to trial. So this gives you a visual reminder of when you assign a task to them that you need to look at this guy and he's on trial.
So it's kind of like a rating, almost like they have on Fiverr, like highly rated versus lower rated.
Well, it's just like unknown.
Mhm.
Trial would be, I haven't used this guy too many times.
Yeah, that's great. I love it.
So you'd give him 1 or 2 tasks. You
Mhm.
wouldn't assign a whole batch to him. You'd say,
Yeah,
do
he's-
this for me and let me see how it goes.
He's on probation, essentially.
And you'll say to him, how many days can you work for me? And you'll say, okay, I can maybe work for you 5 days. And how many hours can you do? I can give you 2 hours in a day. It might be a work at home mom or something like that. You can define it. And when you press update, you adjust the status. And it changes the whole status of that person. So now you can see
Wow.
all of a sudden, my capacity has shrunk, but I've nearly reached full capacity
Explain that.
on the chart. So the 10 hours is basically the total amount of time I have available to work for you.
Got it.
And the work you've assigned to me has eaten into 7 hours of
That's
that time.
great. Yeah. Okay.
So what happens is, as I'm finishing my work, my availability increases because the time that's task assigned is decreasing. So let's just take this back to 25 and 7. So now you've got a guy's working for you full time. Okay, let's put this back to what it was. And typically in a business, people can play games. They can say, oh, I'm really busy, I'm really busy.
They can
I'm really
sandbag.
busy." And they bob and weave and they
Yeah.
become masters at doing that.
Mhm.
This looks through all the nonsense and this says to you, you know what? This guy's full of it.
Mhm.
Give him more work, because what he's doing is he's not actually being productive. And I developed some of those tools like this to help my team, because we had to manage 1,800 people
Mhm.
in 5 call centers across England, Scotland, and Ireland. And my guys could not mess around, and HR would not hire more people because they wouldn't get more staffing because we were at max capacity. So we had to come up with a case and say, look, here's all the work my guys are doing. There's no more capacity. We cannot build another call center unless you get me more guys in. Then
Right.
we'll have to go and recruit.
Right.
So this is how we managed the system. It was very simple like this, but it worked well.
So in this way, you can see that with your current staffing, you can't actually produce your website in a 12-month period, or realistically, you're just not going to be able to make it with your current staff. Or you've got heaps of guys, and you can actually go out and find more work.
Yeah. So what I'm doing here is
It's really great.
this graph, the way it looks at it looks at a per month basis, because remember, we're looking at a monthly basis. So I only want to see what's happening this month. How busy are my guys this month? So when I'm assigning work, I can see who to assign it to. Or do I need to find someone else to actually do the task? But it also takes into account that if they are behind and have not finished work from last month, it factors that in as well. So if they are dragging their feet, you're going to start seeing that they're going to start reaching the max capacity. And when you look a bit deep into the why, you might pick up that there's a lot of work that's not finished. So then you can say to them, look, either you do the work, or if you've got outsourcing guys working for you, you can just fire them and get someone else to do the work.
I gotcha.
So
Wow.
this is basically what this screen tells us in an instance. So when you want to drill down into the workload, we click on that, and we can see we've got one project here that I'm working on, and I've got 7 hours worth of work. So if there's multiple projects I'm working on, we can actually see where my mass workload is actually assigned. Where's,
Yeah. Excellent.
where's all my attention? So
Mhm.
if I've got 5 projects going, you might think, Matt, I need to get Matt to do articles for credit repair. I look down and it could be another one. And there's a ton of other work. So we're on Sarah's project, but on credit repair, I've already got 7 hours of work over there.
Right.
I've got
That's a
nothing.
completely different empire.
That's a different project totally
Yeah.
compared to what I'm working on at the moment.
Right.
So it's giving us a global overview of all our projects we are working on, which is
Excellent.
great.
I have a question for you that I don't quite understand with this. How do you know what the task of this person actually is?
That's a good question. We can actually put in what his department is, or
Yeah, otherwise I have no idea what he's actually doing.
Sure.
When I look at that screen, I don't know what this person is supposed to be doing for me with the remaining 168 hours.
Oh.
I'll add that column in. It's something I've overseen, but it's easy to do.
Yeah.
We'll just add it
So
in.
we fully intended to add that, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so when you guys see this, we'll probably add the actual
The
task. Because when we look at what we're doing, we have all these promotional things. I mean, there's 100 different things in this software that we can have people be doing. right?
Yeah.
So we got to make sure we know what it is they're doing. I'm thinking about all my Fiverr guys, right?
Right.
I'm going to want to know if they're automating my Twitter accounts, if they're transcribing a video. I'm going to need to know what I have him doing overall.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll add that functionality as well.
So we'll actually put the department in so you see where they belong into
Exactly.
and what you got them assigned.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll expand on this, but this is I try to keep this as simple as possible, but it's a valid point because I really wanted to demonstrate how busy people really are per project they're working on throughout your whole
Absolutely. Fantastic. Okay, good.
So the next thing we have here is add team, and all it is simply a form that you fill in over here, and this puts the details. So if you are doing outsourcing, try and get the Skype or the IM or the phone or mobile of the people. I know most systems try and lock you away from them,
Yeah.
but somehow try and squeeze it out of them, because if you find we're talking about it today, a good graphic designer,
Yeah, no, Skype you're going to want to have, yeah.
you want to
Yeah.
get a point of contact that if something happens, you can actually speak to them. That's very important.
Yeah.
Because their internet could be down, and if you don't have a phone number, you could actually find what's happening. Oh, there's been an earthquake, or there's been a flood, or the whole power grid's out.
Yeah, you really want to get Skype when you can. I mean, there's organizations like Odesk and the rest that try to prevent you from doing it. Fiverr tries to prevent you from doing any contact outside of their platform. And I've always regretted that. Like we were talking about one of my great graphics designers in Milan who I lost contact with. So try to get their Skype, try to get their emails. And we'll talk more about this in the outsourcing modules.
So yeah, found an outsourcing staff. What we've done is we've just made an easy directory for you guys.
Yeah.
And what we've done is we've broken down all the micro tasks. These are like the small things like account creation services, OnlyWire for Ping FM, for PixelPipe. The things you build with your empires, but you don't do it yourself, and you want to go to Fiverr and you basically want to get someone to do it. So say for example, when they create accounts, yeah, we can go to Fiverr or Warrior Forum. These are guys that's what they do every single day.
Yep,
Just
that's
do
all
it
they do.
all the time.
Yeah, that's why it's so important to get the tasks assigned to them and rest. So you should assign your tasks to your guys.
So here's a writing service, article to video, and just to give you an example, we click on that one, link there, and this takes us to Fiverr, and these are guys that transcribe your videos for Fiverr. So if you want to create content, speak to the mic and send it off for $5.
Yeah, but just don't use my guys.
But yeah, you can look through these and you can find a match, and it's a super easy way to get micro tasks done that you don't want to block down your actual guys that do your content and the good work for you. These are small tasks you want to do it, and that's the team management screen.
Fantastic.
It's part of the process, but it helps you find guys to do the things and help you get work done.
No, it's absolutely critical and probably a major pivot point which differentiates our tool from so many others, and I'm really, really excited about it because there's nothing worse than losing track of your tasks, the amount of hours, the time, and your staff.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
just the worst thing.
That was
You know-
one of the major hair pulling things
Yeah.
when I tried to do market domination.
Yeah, we have a lot of partners we're pulling in. Many of you listening to this are really familiar with replacemyself.com and outsourcers.com and all these other places. I've talked to a lot of the owners of these businesses, and we're going to be working with them so that they can integrate, some of their ideas. We'll be having webinars and stuff with the outsourcing, because this is a really important thing right now. So I'm really glad you've done this work, you guys. It's so very cool, and we'll be adding more and more enhancements as time goes on.
Yeah, we have put a disclaimer here. I'm just going to highlight this point. And basically all it's saying is you need to do your due diligence when you're dealing with your staff. Just because you're online, it doesn't mean that you mustn't do your due diligence. If you're going to employ someone offline to work in your shop, you're going to interview them, you're going to find out what their accreditation is, what skills they have, you're going to talk about them, you're going to put them through HR process. Nothing's different online as it is offline.
Yep, and go for ratings in the same way that we're building kind of a rating type system. It's not exactly rating, but it's trust versus trusted. So we're trying to protect you by giving you these grades and scales. At the same time, when you're going on Fiverr, make sure you go by ratings. And when you're using Odesk, go for highly rated outsources. And I can speak to Elance as well. Go for a known and high rating Elance, especially for important projects. And then you'll see a lot of low bidders, and you'll be tempted to go in with new contractors who maybe aren't quite as known.
Yep.
And make sure that you put them on the new status or not trusted yet.
A big trial.
Trial, or what we call probation. And so do that, and then just don't put them on your most important projects.
And with any staff, whether it's outsourcing or internal, make sure you clearly define what's expected from them when you assign tasks to them. This is something that's very important. If you don't clearly define what you want and what the end result has to be and what they can and can't do, you will get unsatisfactory results.
Yes, and the best way to solve that I've discovered is microtasking. Find somebody who only does one thing. And if you have the people who do multiple things, put them higher up in your organization, because that means they're renaissance. But for the most part, the amazing revolution that Fiverr and other organizations have started are both terrible and incredibly powerful when you know when to use them. And don't pick complicated tasks for Fiverr. Don't pick highly skilled tasks for Fiverr. You have to be really careful with that. Try to go for micro tasks that are binary, on-off switches. Here's your article, here's not your article. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, so that's good enough. Anything else you guys want to add to that?
No, that's it. That's
All right.
that's the team screen.
From here, we're going to move on to the team screen and into the control. This is incredibly exciting, the content writer. We've been working Matt's been working most of the afternoon with Sue on this and trying to get this code right. I'm really excited about this, so we'll see you on the next video.